All right, folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. We're North Georgia's only live online morning show, 9:01 this morning. I do think the whistleblower non-story will actually end Biden's campaign. I think it will. I think people are going to start looking this up. Now, they're scurrying right now around MSNBC and CNN and everywhere they can go to try to cover up. And we'll give you a little more of that. Okay. Let's see. The Atlantic. All right. And this is June 7th, 2014. Let me give you a picture I want to put up first. Okay. Let me see what I have here. Let's go with number 18. All right. Number 18, the Wall Street Journal, Biden's in Ukraine, an explainer. Okay. So I wish, I mean, I'm wondering if Trump and the American people and Trump supporters would have liked to have, because it's ongoing, someone explain everything that was going on with Trump, explain away, wash away anything that happened like they're immediately trying to do with Joe Biden. Mr. Shoikin had dragged his feet on those investigations, Western diplomats said, and effectively squashed one in London by failing to cooperate with UK authorities. All right? So they're trying to downplay Shoikin, right? He is the guy that Biden said, I want fired. He is the guy that was investigated. Shoikin, right there, was investigating Burisma, right? The halfway around the world, the father statesmen Biden and Kerry. Now, were also deeply involved in a complex, difficult situation in Ukraine. So you got to look at John Kerry and Devon Asher, all right? You got to look at Devon Asher. You got to look at Hunter Biden. You got to look at John Kerry, stepson, Burisma. You got to look at Rosemont Capital. Is that the name of it? Just get the book. You'll see. All right? Telling you, John Kerry's in on it. Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, Kerry's stepson. Just follow me. They're all in on it. So, but the media is rushing the hashtag deep state, corporate, corrupt media is rushing to try to cover this up for Joe Biden. So let me look at, briefly here, leave that picture up. Let's go to, okay, this is from the Atlantic, and this is June 7th, 2014. It's totally normal that Joe Biden's son works for a Ukrainian energy company. The inauguration of Petro Poroshenko as Ukraine's new president was Europe's biggest story today, but it wasn't the most interesting one. This is from June 7, 2014. The inauguration of Petro Poroshenko as Ukraine's new president was Europe's biggest story today. The billionaire confectioner promised to bring Ukraine closer to Europe and the West. He also had some tough words about Crimea. Remember, Russia took over Crimea on Obama's watch, which he delivered in the presence of the recently restored Russian ambassador to the Ukraine. All right. Let me see right here. Among the dignitaries in attendance that day, okay? Among the dignitaries in attendance was Vice President Joe Biden, which which is where the story gets interesting. It hardly seems noteworthy that given the scope of the crisis, Biden took his second trip to Ukraine in the past 6 weeks. Within 6 weeks, Biden was in Ukraine twice. However, Biden's trip also coincided with a story about his youngest son. Hunter Biden was tapped last month to join the board of Burisma Holding, Ukrainian's largest private gas producer. At the time, The Guardian explained the oddity of Biden's spawn's new gig. All right. So this goes on and on. You could read this article, and it's from The Atlantic back June 2014. I think this backfires on Biden. I really do. I think this backfires on Biden. All right. And I think this could be the end. Now, see, like the Daily Wire, Rudy Giuliani, Joe Biden scandal will be a lot bigger than Spiro Agnew. Now, I guess I'm going to have to bring some of the children into the Spiro Agnew day. What Rudy Giuliani is saying, Joe, and we don't have time to go into Spiro Agnew, but Spiro Agnew was from Maryland. Okay, he's dead now. He was from Maryland, and he was President Richard Milhous Nixon's vice president. And there was a major vice presidential scandal, okay, for Spiro Agnew that ended his presidency, and that's when he left and Gerald Ford became vice president of the United States. So there you go, just a real quick one. Rudy Giuliani, Joe Biden scandal will be a lot bigger than Spiro Agnew. That's on the Daily Wire. The Daily, let's see, Pompeo sanctions. Whistleblower had no direct knowledge of Trump's phone call. The whistleblower, now they're pushing the whistleblower to come public, to go public, to have this person public, knowing that the whistleblower complaint did not, the whistleblower did not have direct knowledge, was not on the line, was not standing in the Oval Office for Trump's phone call. Only overheard what took place and went and filled out a form. Hey, can you give me Form 36? Yeah, the whistleblower one. Yeah, I want to turn that in. I heard something yesterday. I just want to turn in my form. Okay? All right. You think you heard something. Here's Form 36. So the whistleblower goes home, fills out Form 36, comes back. Here's my form. I'm going to tell all I know or all I think I heard or what I dreamt last night. That's what I'm going to do. That's how delusional these people are. So, no transcript. We cannot allow the president. We have to ask the president very nicely, do not put a transcript out, okay? Because the bottom line is world leaders have to be to where they can communicate with each other, knowing their transcript will not be in public. Now, I want to shift gears before we go to Iran. I think this is Australia, but they were all over the world. I think one is in San Francisco, okay? So let me go with, let me see which one I have here. Let me get the video.
At noon, a massive...
Yeah, let's go with the video number 4. Let's go with this little news report out in San Francisco with number 4. Take us there. Play that for us.
A massive climate march is underway right now in San Francisco, part of a global day of action. Protesters demanding change to protect our environment. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Michelle Griego.
I'm Kenny Choi. Let's get right to Joe Vasquez, who is live in San Francisco this afternoon. Joe, quite the turnout. What's it like out there right now?
Yeah, Ken, we cover demonstrations all the time, but this is one of the biggest I've seen in quite a while. You are looking west on Market Street, and this is what thousands of young people demonstrating looks like right now. This is a demonstration about climate change. Let's take a look from up above, Chopper 5. From up above, you can see the massive protests right now. Protests, in fact, are planned in all 50 states. According to organizers, young people are, quote, tired of complacency and propaganda. They say they're taking back the streets to send a message that the climate crisis is real and that they will not rest until bold action is taken to address it. I talked to some high school marchers just a few moments ago.
We missed school for this because we thought it was something important that a lot of adults weren't taking seriously.
Yeah, we believe that we need to make sacrifices for climate justice.
Yeah, because, I mean, like, we're not going to have a future if we don't act on this now, and I want to have the same opportunities that all the adults already had. Like, I want to be able to have a job, I want to be able to have a family, but with climate change, that's just not going to happen.
And now you can see the chopper pictures are just really stunning. A lot of people here, including the organizers, including these young people who had to take time off from school, are a little surprised at how many people have actually turned out for this demonstration. They've been going since 10 o'clock this morning. They are determined to send a message here, you guys. And right now we are heading down from Market Street. We've taken a turn down south on 1st Street. No one quite knows where we're headed, but I know PG&E's offices are around here somewhere, and these folks have told me that they are determined to send some sort of message to some different corporations that they say need to know these young people are serious about climate change. They want the rest of the world to be serious as well.
All right, Joe, thank you. So that is the Bay Area. On the East Coast, students across New York missed school for the event, and state education officials supported it. Kids of all ages held signs and chanted in Lower Manhattan, fighting for the future of the planet. They say it is never too early to have a voice. That includes 16-year-old Azalea Danes, one of the local organizers.
Today's climate strike in New York City has 3 main demands. The first one is no fossil fuels and democracy in governments, business, or media. The second one is a just transition to 100% renewable energy. And the third demand is hold polluters accountable.
According to the New York Times, New York City's 1.1 million public school students were given permission to skip class, but teachers were barred from attending during school hours. It has been a similar sight all around the world today in more than 150 countries. These videos showing activists in London, Kenya, and Hong Kong all taking to the streets, drawing attention to the dangers of climate change.
Hey, did you know?
You know, that one poor kid, I mean, out there in San Francisco says she wants a family, she wants this, that, and the other thing. It's just not going to happen for her. I mean, it's just the saddest thing. This story is, I mean, and what did the young lady say in New York City? Hold polluters accountable. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. The government. Okay, now that I will get into this on a different day. That young lady in New York City, okay, I told you before, if you have a child that you dropped off at school at 5 years old today, by time they walk across the stage after the 12th grade, and they finish the institution, not school, they finish the government institution that we have them in, they will be totally subjected and accepting of government control, all government control of their life. They will be okay with living in an environment that their home, apartment, or their shed that they have to live in because they don't have enough money, okay, has things that control their temperatures, things that control energy savings, when you go over and Alexa says, don't put that plastic bottle in that trash. Because not only are we Alexa in your home, we're the eyes. So anyhow, you think I'm joking. They want to hold polluters accountable. Guns, you're not to have any guns. They will control your guns. You will eventually, like the state of New Jersey, I was talking to a young man this past week, that every single gun you buy in the state of New Jersey, you basically have to send the same application to the state, and then there's a database on you in New Jersey that They know you have 6, 7, 8, 9 guns. That's right. They could pull a database. They will start telling you when you've maxed out the number of guns. So total control in the automobiles we drive. Total control in the energy sector of your home. Totally. They will totally control your home environment regardless of what you're living in. Weapons, they will take them away, because what they will do, they will eventually say, what's going to happen next? So, you know somebody out there that has a gun safe, or you know somebody out there that's got 15, 20 guns. They collect them. They go buy guns. They go to shows. They talk to dealers. And they have all these guns in their home, but it's just what they do. They enjoy these guns. The government's going to give you a max number of guns, even if it's plural. I don't know if it's going to be plural. I think you may have to choose your hunting rifle. I don't want to get off on that. But when you send an application in, okay, they're going to know, wow, this is his third gun in a database. And when you get to gun 6, maybe even 4, somebody's going to knock on the front door. Hey, we're here we're here from the government. We noticed you should have 4 guns. Can we inventory your guns? No, you can't. Well, we're coming in. We want to inventory your guns. Well, you're not going to. You got it? No, we're going to inventory your guns. Oh, you have 4 registered with this state. We found 6. Well, my dad gave me those when, he gave me those years ago when I was a kid. We only have 4 registered. I know I got off on that, but look, guns and the Second Amendment and the phony, not to mention this climate change, the phony, we have a gun violence problem. We do not have a gun violence problem in this country. You understand? We don't. So what they're doing is controlling the number and the money. You may think I'm so far off the mark. The government, every time the government finds where they're not getting the money, they put a stop to it immediately. That's why Eric is dead in New York City. Eric Gardner, I think his name's Eric Gardner. Who is Eric Gardner? He's the guy that was selling Lucy's. That's what it's called, single cigarettes. Why? Because I think a pack of cigarettes in New York City is $19. So they get them on the hot market. They get them on a hot market with no state taxes. And they stand on the street corner and sell a cigarette there's 20 of them, and they sell them $1 a piece instead of a pack or whatever, right? Well, the government, the state of New York, is not getting what? Their tax money. So when you walk in and you lay a pack of cigarettes on the register in New York, it's $20, and 50% of that goes to the government. It's $10. So if a pack of cigarettes is sold, every one that's sold is a Lucy, and trust me, that's a big deal in New York City. What happens? They lose $10 every 20. And that's why Eric Gardner's dead today in New York City, not because of a white cop, not because of excessive, chokehold and stopping him, because the crackdown on the New York City police from the government, the state of New York, and Mayor de Blasio, that jackass. Hey, we got to stop that. We're losing money, tax money. Same thing with guns, folks. Same thing with guns. If you sit down and you're with your friend today, you sit down and go out with a friend, and you guys are talking, or ladies, whatever, and you say, hey, man, I really like that gun. Well, I'll sell it to you. You've known this person your whole life, or you've known him for 10 years or whatever. I'll sell it to you. Yeah, what do you want for that gun? All right, give me $300. All right, here's $300. Here's the gun. Boom. What didn't happen? One, it didn't get registered with the government, and they must know. They don't have to know if a gangbanger has a gun. They do not have to know, and it does not have to be taken serious if gangbangers have the guns, because they're not going to pay anything, all right? But law-abiding citizens, they must know, each and every one, because you are the ones that will fill out the form. You're the ones that'll send the $25 application for the background check every time you want a gun. You're the ones that will pay the tax on the guns, not the gangbangers. So quit thinking that there's a gun violence problem. Same thing with climate change, okay? Now, I'm not going to get into the argument of does the climate change? Okay, you start looking at history and you start talking about the Ice Age and one thing after another. Do changes take place? But you and I, what we do throughout the course of the day, we don't have enough power to make changes in the climate, and we don't have enough power to pass laws to change the climate to what you want it to be. You could do every damn thing you want in the world. You can get rid of straws. You can get rid of plastic bags. You know what? You can get rid of water bottles. You can get rid of K-cups. You can get rid of everything in the world you want. You could change everything you want, and you're not going to affect what happens within the climate one way or the other. So anyhow, let's go to, I think it's video 3 now. Okay, let's go to video 3. I want to play this one. I think this is Australia or something. I don't know. But let's play video 3.
It's been the gathering place for political activism for more than a century.
These people and companies are literally burning our futures.
The Domain was full with protesters concerned about the impact of climate change here and abroad.
For us, climate change is real, and so that's why we've come here to be a voice for our people back home.
School students became activists, turning their backs on school for the day. And why have you come?
So that we can make a difference.
And did you get permission to come today?
My parents gave me permission, but the school did not directly.
I can understand why people are angry about it. This is our future, and we need to protect it.
It was a crowd which spanned generations.
We've got to do something about climate change, and it's our grandchildren that are telling us we've got to do this.
We came here to listen to listen to save the world.
The government's failing them. It's supporting the mining interests and not the interests of the people.
The brainchild of a Swedish teenager has gone global.
We are on the outskirts of the biggest catastrophe humanity has ever faced, and our government is doing nothing.
Traffic came to a halt as the younger generation made their voices heard.
Just days before a United Nations summit on the environment, these protesters want to send a powerful message that they're in solidarity with those feeling the greatest impact of climate change.
There were climate strikes right around the country. Organisers estimate 300,000 joined the protest nationwide. In towns all over New South Wales, students rallied, calling for an end to coal, oil and gas.
I think that teenagers are catalysts for change, and that if we can be a key force behind protests, then we can make change in our world.
Protesters in rural areas say they're on the front line.
At home, at the moment, it's just absolutely dreadful with the drought.
Students are hoping their mass protest won't be ignored. Philippa McDonald, ABC News.
So they skipped school. I don't see the big problem with that. I mean, I will tell you this. Okay, let me just for clarification, if we're in the 9th grade and everybody said, there's a climate change rally and we can skip school and we won't get in trouble, I would have been at the climate change rally. I would have. In fact, I would have probably looked, I would probably asked, oh, darn. I'm in the 9th grade. I would probably ask certain girls, okay, let's not get all bent out of shape. Are you going to the climate change rally? Maybe they would say to me, are you going to the climate change rally? You know the world is coming to an end. And I would say, do you think I should be at that rally? Yes, you must help us save the world. Well, ladies, I am on my way. So I would have been at the climate change rally. Really, why did I have to bring that up? I don't know. But I would have attended in the 9th grade at the climate change rally. But I will tell you this, all jokes aside, if I'm telling you, if I am a long-term financial planner, and I would like to know this, I would like to know, long-term financial planner, How do they plan to market that to the kids? I'm serious. Now, the baby boomers, 70. Let's go 65, okay? I'm not 65, so don't look at me like that, okay? But let's go 65 and older, okay? Now, they have planned for retirement, okay? That generation. Now, usually around 30, 35, a couple kids, you start planning. I wonder what will be the marketing tactic for long-term financial retirement planning. I really do. Hey, kids, you know, maybe they'll have to let the kids have a early withdrawal without penalty if they do come down to the last year that the earth will exist. There may have to be a clause in there. If in event climate change burns the damn earth up, you can get your money out so you can enjoy it for the last 6 months. All right, I'm your host, BKP. We're going to take a short break. I want to come back. I want to talk about Iran for just a second. And how we're going to have to stick together because the corruption with the Bidens and the Obamas and the Kerrys and the list goes on. Take us a break.